What's up, bros? My name is Igor, welcome to a brand new video. In today's video, guys, we will talk about one more topic which no one talks about: propaganda in Ukraine. In this video, we will find out whether it's true and what Ukrainian news is actually hiding. Propaganda, everyone is used to hearing this word in the context of Russian propaganda, which is simply crazy. But does this mean that Ukraine doesn't have it? Well, not really. Propaganda is a way of influencing people to convince them of something or to make them believe in a certain idea or point of view. It uses various methods such as repetition, emotional appeal, and this phenomenon appeared a long time ago. Back in the Third Reich, people were convinced that they were the best and only their nation had the right to live. Their authorities, you know who was that, invented fake facts, posted propaganda posters, and so on. This is directly used to manipulate people and control their thoughts. In our time, on the example of Russia, we can see a direct, brazen distortion of historical facts, talking nonsense on TV, and just zombification of people. The Russian government does this to achieve its insane goals, for example as a seizure of foreign countries. That is, the propaganda machine works, convinces Russians that Ukrainians are bad, Russians believe it and don't protest after the invasion of Ukraine. In this way, the people encourage the actions of the authorities and don't interfere with them. There are geniuses, of course I'm just kidding, but Russians who have at least a little sense and understand how it works don't watch this TV, and propagandists who have already become memes.
Россия – единственная страна в мире, которая реально способна превратить США в радиоактивный пепел.
Few people know, but propaganda in Russia was created for many dozens of years, and we'll talk about this in a separate video. It's important to be critical and understand that propaganda can distort facts and try to twist reality to achieve its goals. But the goals can be both negative and positive. So there is propaganda in Ukraine too. It's used in many countries to convince people of something that they don't even notice. It's not necessarily related to war. But in Ukraine now, propaganda has become really pronounced, and a lot of people, including me, notice that. The government has legal right to control, moderate and limit information flows. After Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, my country didn't follow the path of formal introduction of military censorship, but reduced a significant part of television and radio broadcasting to joint information marathons. In other words, it's called the same news. That is, different channels with different TV presenters are forced to broadcast only one same information. In fact, there is nothing wrong here, because Ukrainian television never spread in fake facts or something like that. However, there is always a considerable exaggeration according to the war in Ukrainian news. Excessive positivity and rising moral. The society may get the impression that the Ukraine is, if it hasn't already won, is one step away from victory. Instead, in reality, the hostilities may continue for a long time and bring a lot of sad news to my residents. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to prepare society for the worst? And here it's very important to understand that this topic is subjective and everyone has its own opinions. I am 100% sure that my government have only positive intentions to support Ukrainians in this difficult time and cheer them up, but this is not always good. During the war, the state makes considerable efforts to increase patriotism and fighting spirit, encourage resistance and instill optimistic expectations of victory. Sounds good, but can it be negative? I think so. I even felt it on myself somewhere in the third week of a full-scale war, and it was difficult to get out of excessive disappointment. And also I know people for whom this excessive optimism actually cost the lives of their loved ones, whom they didn't evacuate in time from Bucha, Mariupol and other cities, because they believe the excessively optimistic stories from the same Alexei Arestovich. To be blunt, it's interesting and crazy person, because he was working in Ukrainian government and said something good about Russia. If you wanted me to make video about him, please write down in the comments. So now this person has been fired from his job, but he used to say that Ukraine will win in 2 days, like really excessive optimist. Although, according to my observation, our military and media have become much more careful in communications with society, precisely in terms of optimism. Assessing whether such emotional swings can lead to conflict between society and the government, in theory of course, but I'm sure that this is not time for the authorities to quarrel with its residents, so the probability of that is very small. And I believe that the authorities don't have bad intentions in this matter. On the contrary, they wanted to cheer us up and so on. But I guess it shouldn't be done excessively, because it can lead to unjustified expectations and the sadness of society. Also, one more interesting fact, that Ukrainian military command made the decision to limit information about the number of dead defenders of Ukraine. Some may say that this is stupid and not very good, but I disagree. I believe that this is absolutely right, so as not to once again demoralize society, which is suffering terrible losses. And at the same time, should be not only hope, but also confidence in the victory. What will definitely not happen if people compare the quantity losses of our fighters with the losses of the enemy, even if this comparison is in our favor. Any big statistic with deaths hits psyche madly because of big numbers. But the numbers don't show every single story, and therefore I believe that this is necessary to talk about some specific military heroes, but it's not necessary to mention the total amount of death. It will be possible after the end of this all. Also on YouTube I can constantly see clips from the news such as "soon we will capture Moscow, Ukraine has almost won," and so on. Propaganda is necessary, is a component of war, but it's possible to evaluate the effectiveness of this work only after the victory. Of course, victory, this is one way out. It's too early to make some consequences right now. In any case, I think actions of my government is justified, but I believe that it's necessary to keep the golden mean and not exaggerate. Some may call it propaganda, but this is everyone's personal opinion, and your opinion is very important to me, so leave a comment what do you think about this stuff at all. Also, if you are interested, please put a like, it makes me genuinely happy, because I can see the results of my work. And that's it, have a great time.